Hey everybody, welcome to this week's edition of Storytime. I have with me this week the lovely Elvira. Elvira is a Brazilian black tarantula. Now Brazilian blacks are a pretty big species. As you can see, Miss Elvira here is about the size of my hand. Now you're probably wondering, why am I handling a tarantula? Well, certain tarantula species are pretty laid back enough that we can actually handle them. We do have to be careful though, because tarantulas are a very, very sensitive animal. If Elvira were to fall from my hand down to the floor, it could actually possibly kill her. The reason being is, like all other invertebrates, she has an exoskeleton. And that exoskeleton is just holding in all of her body fluid. So she's got all these fluids that are just floating around. She doesn't actually have like veins or arteries or anything. If she were to fall and her exoskeleton to break open, what it would be like is cutting a hole in a hose that's on full blast. What is happening is all the pressure from her heart pumping is going to push all the fluid out of any cracks in her body. This makes tarantulas a very, very sensitive animal. So when we handle them, we have to be very careful. We have to be very calm. We have to make very deliberate, slow movements so that they don't get too spooked. Because despite what people may think, tarantulas actually don't want to bite. A tarantula like Elvira here would wanting to flee as being her first mode of defense. So aside from being camouflaged with the forest floor, because again, she comes from Brazil, and usually jungle forest floors are usually pretty dark because of all the detritus and broken down matter. She wants to blend in first, and if she has to, she will run as a next line of defense. If running doesn't work, the next thing a tarantula is going to do, if it's a New World species, North and South America, is they're going to kick the hairs off their abdomen here, which are called urticating hairs. When urticating hairs get on your skin, they cause a bit of an allergic reaction, kind of like touching fiberglass or touching poison ivy or something. It's going to make you extremely itchy. Now this comes in handy when one of their predators tries to grab them, something like a bird, a large mammal, or even a larger invertebrate. They will kick those hairs into the face of whatever animal it is that's trying to attack them. And when those urticating hairs get in their eyes, it actually causes the eyeballs to swell and the area around it to swell, so they have a hard time seeing. If they happen to get into the nasal passages or the mouth, it's going to make it very hard for that animal to breathe. So again, first line of defense is camouflage, second is running, third is urticating hairs. The last one that would happen would be biting. But tarantulas really don't want to bite, and there's a variety of reasons. One is just not really in their nature to just randomly bite anything. But the other is their venom is actually packed full of their digestive fluids. Tarantulas have to drink their food. They can't chew it. So whatever they bite, they inject their venom into, but they also inject their digestive fluids, and it liquefies whatever it is that they bit. So if they bit something like a cockroach or a cricket, it's going to liquefy all the organs and everything inside of it, and then they're literally going to drink all that fluid out of there. Now, if they were to bite something and inject a bunch of that venom and digestive fluid into it, but not eat it, it's a waste of energy. So now she's got to use up energy reserves or eat extra in order to make up for all the fluid that she lost. So again, biting is actually the last thing most tarantulas want to do. Now, the other hairs on their body are called setae. These are the ones that are along the legs. These are the really interesting ones because setae help determine what's going on in the tarantula's environment. It can pick up pheromones, it can pick up electrostatic activity, heat, barometric pressure, pretty much everything that's happening in the atmosphere, they can feel through these hairs. Me moving my hand closer to her creates a pressure system between her and my hand, but also creates more heat, and she can pick up on more of the pheromones. So tarantulas are exceptionally sensitive animals because of being able to detect everything that's happening in their environment. So pretty much they kind of know what's happening before it happens. This is right on par with how they explain Spider-Man's Spidey sense, that it's not quite precognitive. They aren't able to predict what's going to happen, but they have a really good sense of what's happening around them and in their direct environment. When a tarantula is scared, they're going to try to run. And as you can see, she's just taking her time crawling over top of me because I handle her all the time. She knows who I am, and she's not afraid of me. Something really interesting you're probably noticing is how she'll put a leg down and then lift it up and then immediately put the leg back down again. This is something that a lot of tarantulas do as a way of being a little bit cautious. What it is it's them smelling with their feet. So literally, they have sensory pads on the bottom of their toes, and they will put a foot down, smell what's there, and then decide whether or not something they should be walking on. So this is just an added sensory thing for this tarantula. Now, despite a lot of tarantulas' names, they don't really go after big food. Again, tarantulas don't go after people, and no one's ever died from a tarantula bite in written human history, at least not that I'm aware of or I've been able to find. People have died from true spider bites, but they haven't actually died from tarantula bites. Spiders are different. They're both arachnids, but that's about it. It's kind of like turtles and tortoises are similar, but they aren't the same. So tarantulas are actually a lot different from spiders. One of the ways we can tell is by how the fangs are set. So tarantulas have these chelicerae right there, which are the fang casings. And a tarantula's fangs are up and down like this, and they can move independently of one another or together. But on spiders, the fangs are off to the side or at an angle, and they pinch back and forth. The other is how they climb. So with tarantulas, they actually have two tiny little hooks that come out of each toe. And they're a little hard to see on the camera here. But what they do is they can stick out those little hooks as they're getting ready to climb on stuff, and it grabs on. Now, when a spider is looking to climb, it actually has a type of cilia that comes off of their fingers that can find all the microscopic imperfections in something. This is why we can see spiders climb right up glass with no problem. A tarantula can't really climb up glass unless it's very scratched up or they're grabbing hold of the silicone holding the sides together. Now, I try to relate an animal to whatever book it is I'm reading. It's the holiday season, so I've mainly been reading Christmas books, but I also wanted to check out a Hanukkah book, and I picked out Hooray for Hanukkah by Fran Manuskin. And kind of the way I can relate the tarantula to the Hanukkah book is there's 8 days of Hanukkah, and we have 8 legs on a tarantula. There's no animals in this book, so there wasn't one for me to pick. But I thought that was kind of funny. We have 8 and we have 8. So we're going to go ahead and read our Hanukkah book. Hopefully Elvira just decides to stay still on my hand and not move too much. But she looks like she's in kind of an exploratory mood. So, Hooray for Hanukkah by Fran Manuskin, illustrated by Carolyn Grohl. Hooray for Hanukkah! It's my favorite holiday. I'll tell you why. I am a menorah. In winter, when it's cold and dark, my colorful candles are warm and bright. Hooray! Hooray for Hanukkah! And I just lost my light. Hold on. There we go. Hanukkah lasts for 8 happy days. On the first night, Mama says the blessings and lights the first candle. She uses a helper candle called the Shmas. Friends see me in the window and they come to visit. See how I glow? I am bright, but I could be brighter. On the second night, the family lights 2 candles. They gather around and sing to me, oh Hanukkah, come light the menorah. My 2 candles sparkle and glow. I am bright, but I could be brighter. On the third night, Grandma lights 3 candles. The family makes potato pancakes called latkes. The latkes are as golden as my flames. My 3 candles sparkle and glow. I am bright, but I could be brighter. On the 4th night, Grandpa lights 4 candles. He teaches the children how to play the dreidel. They spin the dreidel and win prizes. The kitten spins it too. I see my flames shining in the kitten's eyes. My 4 candles glimmer and glow. I am bright, but I could be brighter. On the 5th night, the children light 5 candles. Mama gives them Hanukkah money. The coins are gold, but inside there is chocolate. Hanukkah is a sweet holiday. My 5 candles light up the children's happy, sticky faces. I am bright, but I could be brighter. On the 6th night, Papa lights 6 candles. He leads the family in a noisy dance around and around me. My flames dance too. See them sway and reach up, up, up. I am bright, but I could be brighter. On the 7th night, it snows. The children light 7 candles. My flames glow in the window, lighting the way to our house. Our friends can find us in the snow. Here come more gifts and kisses and hugs. I am bright, but I could be brighter. Finally, here it is, the 8th night of Hanukkah. The family gathers around me and each person lights a candle. They light 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 candles. Mama turns out the lights and everyone says, ooh and ah. I am the brightest I can be. My brave light pushes the darkness away. That's what Hanukkah is all about. All year long, the family will remember my 8 bright days. That's why everyone says, hooray, hooray for Hanukkah. The end. This was a really fun book to learn a little bit about Hanukkah. And if you're somebody like me who was not raised Jewish, it's really fun to learn about somebody else's culture, because there's no better way of understanding the world around us and the people around us than to learn about their culture. So I was really happy to read the book Hooray for Hanukkah, and I hope you guys enjoyed it too. I also hope you enjoyed learning about Elvira and her 8 special legs. So the 2 of these together, maybe around Proust, we can celebrate Hanukkah by celebrating the 8 awesome legs of a tarantula. We'll see you guys next time.